Doctor Strange is quickly rising to prominence as one of the most powerful modern Marvel heroes, being only surpassed by a handful of incredibly powerful individuals, with most of them rising up in recent memory. Doctor Strange's voyage throughout the multiverse is perhaps one of his most vital excursions in the modern Marvel universe itself, opening the doors to other realities and ushering in a new era for Marvel Studios. Spoilers ahead for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. In this video, we will be breaking down why exactly Doctor Strange is one of the most likely characters to cause incursion, when other characters throughout the Marvel universe don't cause incursion. So let's break it all down. In Doctor Strange's second solo outing, we learn of events called, again, incursions. These incursions happen when the boundary between universes erodes, as described by Reed Richards during Strange's first meeting with the Illuminati. He claims that when an incursion causes realities to collide, everyone within said reality will ultimately die, and his iteration of Doctor Strange inadvertently triggered an incursion by dreamwalking into variants of his multiversal self. We even get to see what appears to be the rules of an incursion in the next universe that we see in the Strange film, as he visits the following one with a more musical Strange. On the homeworld of Sinister Strange, we get to see the universe destabilizing and actively falling apart, and while this might not necessarily be an incursion, the implication is that these are the effects of a multiversal tampering. This is further supported by Sinister Strange stating that he has killed multiple multiversal doppelgangers of himself, all in pursuit of Christine, a love that he can never possess. Despite this, however, there seems to be one common trait among all of these incursions that we hear about, and it even seems that the only individual thus far who has caused incursions is none other than Doctor Strange himself. But again, why is this? Why have no other incursions taken place unless Doctor Strange is involved? And what does Strange have to do with it? Well, stick with us today, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, and let's dive into that exact question. Firstly, it's important to recognize the evidence that Doctor Strange is the most prone to causing incursions, and so far is the only individual despite multiple instances of multiversal tampering from various characters. In No Way Home, Earth 616 hosts no less than 8 multiversal variants over the course of several days, drastically altering the course of history and even rupturing the barriers between realities in the finale. We see Strange struggle to contain the calamity, yet the fabric of reality seems to be undamaged in the long run, and the MCU is allowed to continue forward undamaged. Likewise in What If, we see Infinity Ultron lay siege to entire timelines, hosting his presence in other realities, yet he too does not cause an incursion. We can also expect Kang to make his debut in coming years, laying waste to entire realities and presumably waging war for a prolonged period of time before the effects of an incursion are ever felt. And it seems unlikely that Kang will cause these incursions within mere hours of his arrival. Yet, on Earth 838, Strange was able to cause an incursion by dreamwalking, which doesn't even include even being in the alternate timeline to begin with, simply again dreamwalking to it. Our Doctor Strange even triggered an incursion within a few days that he explored the multiverse, which leaves us with a few possibilities and potentially our answer. The first explanation has to do with the practice of dreamwalking, which seems to be the only constant that we see throughout the known existence of incursions taking place. The one exception of this seems to be in the 4th episode of What If, but there is an extraneous explanation for this instance, assuming that this is in fact an incursion that we are witnessing. This Doctor Strange was not a multiversal variant from another timeline, but the Ancient One states that she divided him into 2 timelines that coexist in the same universe. If these 2 timelines exist so closely together, then the odds of them colliding are exponentially heightened, which might have also caused an incursion, but this is again an extenuating circumstance that is a special case. From what we can see, the primary catalyst for incursions appears to be dreamwalking. For this explanation, we'd like to relate it to a door. If a variant travels into another universe, like Spider-Man and his Rogues Gallery did in No Way Home, then it might be like opening a door and walking through it, closing it behind them and maintaining the integrity of the barrier between the 2 realities. As stated by Reed Richards, incursions are not actually caused by damage to an alternate reality, they're caused by damage done to the barriers between realities, which then cause them to collide and might explain why Spider-Man variants were able to travel into the MCU without triggering these incursions, as their damage done to the barrier was temporary and a single single time. By dreamwalking, however, a variant is coexisting in both universes at once, which might cause more damage to the veil between timelines, seeing as they are exacting a prolonged toll on the wall between universes by continually projecting their consciousness through it. Reed Richards describes this collision between universes being the primary issue, but again, it is not the damage to reality itself that is the problem. If this is the case, then it stands to reason that the prolonged connection between a dreamwalker and their doppelganger could cause far more strain on the barrier between realities, simply because this is not a one-time crossover. It's instead a prolonged effort. It's also important to note that we don't know the damage of Wanda's dreamwalking, but there's evidence to suggest that it was actually her tampering that caused the incursion, and the same incursion that Clea cites in the post-credit scene of the film. In the first post-credit scene, Clea tells Doctor Strange that he caused an incursion, and if we are led to believe that it was caused by dreamwalking, then it likely means that Sinister Strange's universe and Earth 616 are about to collide with one another. If, however, it's Earth 838 that's about to collide with the MCU, then it might have actually been Wanda's fault, but we have yet to find out the answer. The second option has to do with the nature of Doctor Strange's powers, which bend the natural laws of physics from the world around him. Each of Doctor Strange's light-based weapons and attacks, including his shields, light whip, and chains he uses to restrain Gargantos, are all derivative of the world around him. Doctor Strange is able to use magic to bend photons of light into physical shapes, altering the laws of physics at a whim. This is also the basis of Wanda's powers, as she is able to rewrite reality to her choosing, though her powers are far more potent than Strange's, which are naturally learned, while Wanda's are innate abilities. But what exactly are we getting at here with Doctor Strange's abilities being the main reason why he actually is so prone to causing incursions, as well as other magic-based characters, whereas characters that travel back in time and to alternate realities such as Steve Rogers or Peter Parker do not cause the incursions? If Doctor Strange's powers tamper with the very laws of nature, then it could indicate that he is causing the barriers between realities to erode at a much faster pace than these other characters. While Kang the Conqueror, Ultron, and again Spider-Man can traverse the multiverse, their power set does not entail further damaging the fabric of reality itself, wherein Strange's just might. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of these explanations? Do you agree with either of them more strongly than the other? And why do you believe Dr. Stephen Strange is the only character thus far to cause an incursion? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the channel. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and I hope you have a great day.